with the situation currently in the nation whereby we have 2.97 million people unemployed and 3.5 million people actually being underpaid, the question goes back again to the graduates who are actually graduating each and every year, where we are receiving more than 10,000 graduates from each university. And are there opportunities for them? And also other questions that may be actually worry also not only the parents, but also the people who are actually investing in them, from the guardians to actually the investors. Is it worthwhile? Because these are skills that are yet untapped and they are having anticipation in the job market and also getting their jobs. We are trying to actually analyze this, and today we'll be covering that. Our topic we're going to be basing on job hunting, and we're going to talk with one of our guest speakers who's going to give us a background of how did he manage, how did he maneuver, and was he successful. So let's talk more, let's discuss more. Reach out to me. My name is Joel Shinali. I want you to hear more in the comments and in this section. Subscribe, like, and let's engage. Welcome to our show, NozaraExpress Media, Job Hunting, with our guest speaker who will be joining us shortly. And remember also to follow our social media links. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also on YouTube. All the best. Stay tuned. Okay, greetings once again. Welcome to our show. We'll be actually interviewing one of our great guests here. My name is Joel Shinali. I am a member and also an interviewer and also a content creator of NozaraExpress Media. So we'll be having one of our guests here. You may introduce yourself. What is your name? Tell us one or two about yourself before we begin quick into the discussion.
Oh wow, thank you guys, thank you Nozara for hosting me. My name is Stanley Kianja and I'm an ALX student. I'm taking graphic design and content creation. Something about me, I'm an outdoor person. I love nature and yeah, that's me.
Okay, that's wonderful. I think we'll know more about you because we'll be covering about life after high school. So we are going to focus on areas maybe on unemployment, after campuses, and our main topic will be the job hunting. So before we begin, I want you to take us back to one specific moment, the moment you realized campus life was over and real life officially started. Where were you?
That's a really nice question, and thinking about it, where was I? I was at home. And I think the very moment that I realized that college life was over for me is when I got my first paycheck. Yeah, that's when I realized campus might be over, might be officially over.
Okay, that's good. What were what were your feelings in that moment?
I was shocked and I was relieved. And just to give you a little bit of context as to why, is because I was in my third year when I got my first gig. I wouldn't call it a job really. I'd say it's a gig. I worked for a company for a month. Then they paid me, and then I was like, oh my goodness, will I really go back to school after receiving this small paycheck that I received? And that was the moment. So it was a relief and both a shock for me.
So the paycheck was important.
Yes, it was something that I was really looking forward to, and it complicated the aspect of going back to college in some way.
Okay. And what hit you first when reality sank in?
Independence. I was like, wow, this is how independence would feel like, being able to actually take care of myself. That your paycheck ya kwanza when hit you, like you actually realize that you can actually start doing things on your own, and actually that income is kind of like a mind opener for
What were your expectations before maybe you finish high school? Maybe before we take another break, like what you can finish with this one question. What were your expectations when you finished high school? Did you plan like to do a course that is different from what you are doing, to do a career that's different from what you are doing? Have you actually met what you wanted in life?
Um, Before I completed high school, expectations were high. That high school feeling, I'm going to the next level, I'm going to get my degree. It's a very adrenaline boosting moment, and my expectations were sky high. Nilikuwa cloud nine because I was saying I'll finish school. Now I'm going to join campus. I'm going to add apply for economics and finance. I was saying that I'll complete my economics degree, maybe get a job, and then just go ahead and do my masters. And wow, yeah, I think my expectations were really quite high, and what I'm doing right now is quite different from what I was planning to do.
I think you are in the right place. As much as you didn't meet up, it's okay. Let's take a break. We'll get back to you, and I think you have more to tell us. We still have a couple of questions, a couple of things we need to cover. Back to our show. We are here with our guests, and we are actually going to do a narration that is in line with the conversation. So I'll request you to allow me to actually read through this narration. I think it will give more input to actually the discussion. So here we go. After campus, every young Kenyan enters a storm no one fully prepares them for. The lecture ends. The WhatsApp classes go quiet. Friends move on. And suddenly, the future feels very close and very uncertain. Relatives begin asking questions, not out of cruelty, but expectations. And just like that, the job hunts begin. The waiting, the anxiety, the quiet pressure. Today, we slow everything down. We listen to one story, knowing it represents me. Welcome to Life After Campus, and we continue with our episode. Deeper into our personal journey, let's talk about the bigger picture. For many graduates in Kenya, the transition from campus to employment is not immediate. Some wait for months, some wait for years, some are forced to rethink the entire path. When graduation ends for you, what did you look like in the first 2 weeks?
I think I said I didn't graduate. So, but getting back to the question, and the first 2 weeks after I left college, I was working, and it was a surreal moment for me because it's kind of a transition from going to classes now to clocking in into the office. And the thing that hits me most is the environment. You are no longer in a friendly, chatty environment. You are with clients. You are serving people who are there for your professional services, and that's kind of a broad thing to actually digest. And that's what I was digesting for the past 2 weeks once I got into my first role.
And what changed immediately?
My outlook as to life, because I used to think that getting a job would be, or being in my first job would be difficult. And working in a small studio, it was a small brand studio, it changed all that for me. That was the biggest shift in my perception. Knowing that guys are welcoming and guys are ready to be served and guys are ready for you, even though you may have a very different perspective as to how it is when it comes to serving individuals, clients.
And what changed your daily routine?
My daily routine, almost everything changed. I think from the time I wake up to when I take my lunch, to because especially when you're working, there's a strict lunch policy or break policy. Everything changed. Everything in the schedule changed. From the time I wake up, I used to working now. I have to wake up earlier, prepare and see what's in for me for the day, all the way to the evening, because I have to be at home at a particular duration of time, take my take my personal time to relax, and then the routine goes on.
What surprised you the most?
What surprised me the most
Yeah.
about
From all these changes, you have changed the routine, you have shifted, you have lost some things that you actually used to do. Now you are back at home. What uh, what what was actually like a shock to you?
life goes on. I think I think the shocker for me was the fact that life goes on, because I expected my parents to react in a different kind of way, knowing that I've deferred from college, and the fact that they embraced it was a kind of like a shocker, because I think I was expecting something entirely different.
Mm.
Yeah, I was expecting lectures. I was expecting being condoned and being told that you're supposed to go back to school, and the degree is going to take you places. I was expecting that kind of a conversation with them, and for them, they just left the door open. They left the conversation open, and that was the actual shock.
Okay. Now let's go to the next stage whereby we'll talk about the very beginning of your job search. On the first day, you decided I need to find a job that day. What was in your mindset?
Oh, the very first time that I decided to get a job, let me see. I think it's a very broad. I think there was no actual moment for me, because I kind of think every young person who is not employed or is not working is constantly thinking about getting that job. And for me, in my second year of campus, in my second year of college, going about my studies, I don't think there was an actual moment for me deciding that I want to get a job. Rather, it was a process, and the process actually came by through, I think, something every young person experiences, and that's peer pressure. Having your friends go somewhere and you can't go because you don't have cash. It's an eye opener. It's one of those moments that tells you that you need an income stream, or wanting to buy something and you don't have the money to do that. I think it's a combination of processes that leads to an individual wanting to actually get a job, rather than an actual moment. That's what I would say.
And if I may ask, were you confident or uncertain?
Definitely, definitely. I think for a low skilled individual, or for any low skilled young person out there who's looking for a job, I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of doubt that goes on into their mind when they're actually job searching. And personally, I experienced that firsthand, and I just dealt with it and just had to move on.
What was your first step and what did you expect will happen?
Oh, my first step, I thought I would get so many rejections, but I guess I'm kind of like the lucky ones. Because funny thing with my job search story is that I think I really got lucky, and I don't mean lucky in the sense that I just woke up one day and I saw an angel, or something miraculous happen. I think it was a combination of preparedness that actually got me through the process, because I got my first job via an invite on WhatsApp to actually attend an interview that was ongoing. And I attended that interview. It was a shortlisting interview, and I got selected. The next phase of the job, I was going to actually meet the director of the company, and we actually met at Java, and we had a very short conversation whereby he asked about me and the expectations that I have going on into this role and into my life. And yeah, he closed the deal immediately. So that's something that actually I'd say I'm one. That's why I'm saying that I would consider myself to be one of the lucky individuals, because not a lot of young people get to actually have that kind of a story. There are guys who actually go through a lot of rejection, but I'm privy to that. I'm lucky.
Okay. Now that we are going to the next stage, viewers, uh, most job seekers have one experience that changes how they see the job market. Tell me about the interview or opportunities that stayed with you.
Um, I think conversations stick with me a lot, and I think just like I've said that I tend to think of myself as being a lucky individual, considered my story into my first role. And one of the things that have actually stuck with me a lot in my job search, and especially in the recurrent roles that have preceded that first job, is the conversations. I've landed most of my jobs through conversations rather than actual serious interviews. And I think if a lot of young guys out there got to know about the value of actually being able to have a good conversation with people, I think they'll be more open to getting more opportunities rather than expecting to go somewhere, sit in front of a board and being jabbed with questions. Yeah, I think conversation have stuck with me, and since then, since my very first conversation that actually got me my first job, I've been very intentional in terms of the type of conversations I have and the way I actually handle myself in those conversations, the way I express myself.
Okay, and what were you promised and what did you find?
The promise that is there and the real thing that's in the market. I think there's a lot of promise about satisfaction. That you, when you get your first job, it's going to clear a lot of fog within your life, or I think that's the biggest promise that is out there, and I kind of like fell into that lie as well. But the reality is that that job won't solve some of the problems that you think that money will solve. You know, that first paycheck won't give you friends, because if you think that if you have money you get friends, that first paycheck will make people like you if you have bad attitude. So yeah, I think going thinking about it, I thought money would solve some problems, and it definitely doesn't solve the problems.
And how did it affect you emotionally? Yeah.
How it affected me emotionally, like getting to know into that reality.
Yes.
It was a shocker in a way, and it kind of made me mature in a way, become more emotionally mature, so to speak, because once you realize that money is not a solution to some problems, you kind of realize that there are some other things that you need to fix. And yeah, I think that's in a brief way that's how I put it.
Okay. Now that we are going to the next stage on family and social pressure, as time passed and work didn't, okay, and maybe as time passed and maybe how did your parents respond when this thing went through? Did you feel supported or pressured?
Uh, Too, because there's that expectations that parents have. You know, they want the best for their children, right? My parents are no different. They wanted the best for me, and it was a genuine mix of the two, because they were somehow worried that, you know, you don't have that paper, so what next? No, you need to think about that. And there is also that kind of support that you are actually getting to experience the world as an individual. And so there was sort of jabbing a little bit of pressure on my end, like what next, you know, like what are you planning to do next as you go about this role. And then there's that support that if you need us, we are here for you. If you need to talk, if you need anything from us, we're here for you. So I think it's a blend of the two.
And if I ask, okay, let me bring that question after the break. Let's take a break, then we'll get back to you. Thank you, our audience. Stick there. A short break, 5 minutes. We're coming back. Welcome back to NozaraExpress Media. We're actually finalizing the interview with the 4 strong questions that actually will impact Mr. Stanley here. And I hope you'll enjoy and stay connected. Actually, I think these are the questions that we've been waiting for. Okay, back to you, Mr. Stanley. Now you have a job, the parents have adjusted to it. Most of the people, especially when they have jobs like getting quickly into corporate and they're working in that industry, they usually have a change of friends. How was your case?
Um, Friendship. I think friendship for me. Yeah, true. I think for me it was still the same case because working and you can't socialize the same individuals because you can't communicate in the same level. You know. So I didn't immediately change my friends, but because I don't cut people off. So I kind of feel like we had that period where the conversations just started dying slowly, and they just others started blooming. So I just went to the flow. The ones that were dying just withered, and the ones that were blooming just bloomed. And that's how I got to form new friendships when letting go of the other ones in a softer way.
So you withdrew from people.
I would say we withdrew from each other rather than that I withdrew from them.
Yeah.
I think that's the fair assessment that I would make about it.
And were there moments you felt stuck, you needed help because this is something new to you?
Yeah, the transition of changing friends is kind of complex. I just had a conversation with our conversations with my sister, my older sister, and she actually it's usually a relief to know to know and be told by someone who's close to you that it's not something new or it's not something that's just special to you. It's something that the other people have actually experienced it, and she actually guided me as to how she went about it and actually adopted her system.
And were there regrets from her side?
From her side, yeah, I think they also regret. I think everybody regrets letting go of some people because I kind of think that I let go of some people that I kind of feel that would be an asset for me right now. Or I don't know, ushikuwa na zile the conversations or zile vibes unakuanga nazo na say. And just because you can't actually communicate the same level, you just decide that let it fade away. And I kind of feel that I did have or I do have those regrets, but yeah, we meet people every day. And some come, some stay, some leave. It's life.
I believe you said your sister assisted you
Mm.
in that. Yeah, because I wanted actually to point out, maybe go deep on that question. Yes, I've had your take about your regrets. But from her side, did she have regrets on the decision you had made? Because now she was the one who was mentoring you.
Yeah, of course she did, because she personally didn't have the privilege I had to go to college. She had to hustle her way up, grow from a diploma. I think that's where it starts, from a diploma to a higher diploma to actually getting a degree. But for me, I got straight into the degree and then I let it go. So she was like, you don't know how much you missed. And yeah, I kind of felt like I did feel her energy just burst off at me, that I let go of a big opportunity. But later on, she just, you can't change kuna ile quote inasema, you can't change your siblings. So she just had to accept that this is the brother that she had, and now she has to adjust to the brother, even though he has his own faults and he has his own mistakes.
Okay, the final golden question, not ticket, sorry. If you are to revert back 3 years from now, what change would you have done, or what do you feel should have been done correctly to steer you to the right direction? If maybe you have regrets, and if you don't have regrets, do you prefer things would have just let fate occur as it was and you just landed the same place you are in currently?
Um, that's a very interesting question. That's a very deep question. And thinking about it, uh, the level of information I have right now, and with the depth of perception that I have of life right now, I believe that life is not a straight line. You know, because there's that expectation that we had as kids, or rather that I had as a kid, that nitamaliza primary school, nijoin secondary school, nijoin campus, nipate job, nipate familia, you grow old, you have grandkids, there's that perception that life is a straight line. And life is not a straight line. It's more of it's not even a curve. It's like, I don't know how to put it. It's like a road with bumps in between, and you don't know what to expect after every bump, or you don't know what to expect after every curve. So I think for me, looking back into those curves and those swerves and those bumps that I went through, from dropping up campus to getting my first job to letting go of friends, I don't think I would want to change anything specific per se.
What you have actually discussed, the growth that you incurred from living in university, the change and the careers and the luck that you got in terms of getting a job immediately. What is your parting shot to the viewers actually watching? Yeah.
That short. I think I'm going to niche down on that. I'm going to talk to that young individual there who's in campus or who's just left campus. All in Guinea, just mind your business. Yeah.
Maybe you can address the camera.
So, if you're young, you're out there, you are in campus or you're just out of campus, I think my best advice for you is to learn to nurture conversations. Learn to have powerful conversations. That's what I would advise them to actually work on. Because I attribute where I am right now to the ability to actually have good, empowering conversations.
Thank you very much. My parting shot for the youth out there, I think Stanley stands out as an example that not everything you are told actually will align with actually the ground. Some things may not go as expected, but the outcome will always result well if you do a hard work, if you push yourself, and also the acceptance of reality. So let's keep working hard. Remember, as usual, follow us on NozaraExpress Media, our Facebook. We have our Facebook account, and we also have our YouTube account. And also remember to follow also our other social media that we'll be posting on our caption and our link in our channel, and we will also keep you posted on other events that we'll be having. Remember to comment, give more suggestions and more descriptions on the same. Thank you and see you there. Okay, once again, remember to subscribe to NozaraExpress Media, your one and only best content creators in Africa. Remember to like, subscribe and comment so that you get that notification, get more updates. We want to hear from you, want to hear more, and we also want to have something tangible that we can actually compile for our next project. See you once again.